Balini, good morning. Thank you very much for your time. I must say, well done. I mean, what got you to think about introducing Braille onto clothing?
Thank you very much. Good morning. This idea started when I started studying fashion at Durban University of Technology. It was one of my research studies, and I had an uncle who was also visually impaired, which made me aware of his daily struggles when it came to clothing identification. So yeah, that's how I came up with this Braille identification for visually impaired people.
Well, practically, how does it work? Is the Braille part sewn onto the clothing in the various parts where, for instance, it can give instructions as well for visually impaired people, how to wash the clothing?
So basically it's printed onto each garment. It tells you the color of the garment, the size, the wash care label, as well as a style description. So basically whatever you have on your garment, the little tag at the back, I've just put it on Braille, so it's more visual and readable for visually impaired people, making them more self-reliant when it comes to daily choices and dressing up in the morning. And as well, I've been more creative. I've also put on graphic prints onto the garments. It's a new way of communication for visually impaired people all over the world. I've just pushed it and put slogans onto t-shirts, and so that they can communicate amongst the world. And these clothing also creates awareness for visually impaired people. It's not only for visually impaired people, but anyone can buy it and create awareness for visually impaired people all over the world.
Now, is it expensive to do this, to put this Braille identification system on, to print that on the clothing?
Well, it has been a whole process. As I was saying, I did study this in university and did prototypes and development. When I did my research, it hasn't been done before in the world, applying this Braille identification system onto the clothing. Yes, it is kind of expensive, but just applying it onto clothing and making it more accessible to people, those challenges did come forth, but now I do have an online store which makes it more accessible for people to purchase clothing for visually impaired people.
And how is that going?
So far, I've just launched my website in April this year, which is www.balini.co.za, and the response has been really great, and support with South African and international people. People are more amazed about the idea. You know, people come to me every day and how do you even think of this idea? They didn't even think. Visually impaired people haven't even thought about the idea. So I think people are more amazed and aware. It's what is your product? What is Braille clothing? So I think it's just getting the word out there of educating people about Braille clothing, educating people about Braille, that there is people that do struggle daily when it comes to clothing identification. So not only for the people who are blind, but also people who are sighted, to make them aware of Braille. So the attention of the Braille clothing has been great.
Yeah, the innovative creations. I mean, some people would argue that you are shifting the momentum here. You are making such a tremendous impact in the world of fashion designing.
Yes, yeah, I think, a lot of people tell me that, but it hasn't even sunk in as yet that I've created something so innovative and, using my talent as a fashion designer and just pushing boundaries, and thinking out of the box and addressing some of South Africa's social challenges that people are faced with daily, and just trying to be innovative and creative and using, my skills to do something and impact somebody else's life. It's not only with self-gain, and I always have this thought that I always say, what you do for yourself dies with you, but what you do for others lasts a lifetime. And that's something that always stuck with me. It's my motto to move forward and, just motivate me when it comes to this concept that I've developed.
You are an authentic social entrepreneur. You know, if there was one that I've spoken to recently, really. And good luck to you. And this thing is just going to have such an impact. I mean, everybody's going to be seeing it as groundbreaking, innovative, and how it impacts on people's life. And all because you were trying to solve an issue a need that you saw your uncle, who's visually impaired, was battling with. Good luck, Balini. I'm sure we'll touch base with you in the future as you continue progressing with your Balini line of wear. Thank you very much. Balini Naidoo, local fashion designer.